members that you know have died younger than like this average age? I mean,
oh God,
yeah.
The list is interesting. I mean, I have their obituaries somewhere, but I don't. Some of the ages might be a little bit off, but they were all under 65.
Your mother's parents both passed.
Yes.
Was that recently, or?
Yes, my bio dad and grandfather passed in the same year, 2017.
Your grandfather, you mentioned PTSD and things like that.
Okay, so something that I should probably mention is it wasn't diagnosed.
Yeah.
But some of the stories that I've heard, it's highly suspected. Like back then, especially on the res, like they just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just discussed. And obviously, like healthcare up there is kind of, frankly, a joke. So
yeah.
It just wasn't. But it is suspected. Like some of the stories I've heard, it's very likely.
And he passed in 2017?
Yes.
So then your grandma must have been more recent.
She passed like in the summer. Very recent.
When did you go to clean out their house? Was that?
Oh God, like maybe like 4 or 3 weeks ago. It was very recent.
How was that for you? I bet it was.
Oh, it was tough.
Yeah.
That house was unlivable, quite frankly, and it was very sad because they lived like that. And my grandmother, she was just the nicest person you've like ever met. All she ever wanted to do was care for others.
They were helpful support systems in.
They were the rocks up there, basically. She really was the glue that held like all of, like my mom, her brother, her sister, their brother. So there's 4 siblings in total. That's all their kids.
Uh-huh.
And quite frankly, once she died, it all kind of blew up. I don't know how true this is for everybody, but you know, up there, like there's very little to be had. So family's kind of all you got, especially someone like as good as her who was like stable, you know.
Yeah.
Without the drugs or the alcohol, so they really made her like their world.
What are some of your favorite memories with her?
Oh God, probably being at her house and just like going nuts, quite frankly, because like it's grandma's house, she doesn't care. I remember like crawling through like the old culvert pipes that they had in the yard. Mental health is really important. I'd say that. Like,
yeah,
I'm fairly certain a lot of problems that my family had would have been resolved had we had this mental health stuff. As someone who was in therapy, and my mother went to therapy, and I mean, look at her, she's the most functional out of the whole group.
Are there things that you do in your life to kind of ensure that you're healthy or are able to live longer? I don't know, like you're young, so maybe you don't even have to think about it.
I have thought about it, because I mean, once you notice the trend of like your relatives dying at like 60 or 50, you know, it kind of scares you to think at 25 your life's half over, you know? So I mean, you do kind of think about it, especially when you look at like the rates of like diabetes. Like obviously, like my uncle, he has kind of that. I believe that's what's going on. His leg is bad because of diabetes. So obviously, you know it runs in your family. So like I do try to like watch like, I mean, everyone in the house does now because I've kind of rubbed off on them. But,
really?
Yeah, I just love it. But like, you know, you watch the sugar. You try to watch basically sugar. I mean, sugar is a huge issue in like a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you try to watch like a lot of like the fast food you eat. It really got worse when like my dad and my grandfather died. Like that's when I just stopped caring, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm still here. So yes, like mental health would have been greatly appreciated, and I did eventually receive it. And I'm doing excellent now.
Mm-hmm.
Really. But you know what? A lot of people on the reservation, they don't have that. So you know, you see the thought of kids like suffering the same thing I did, and just keep like in that cycle. It's just like, oh my God, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
I was there myself.